Hey everybody, welcome in to another episode of Talk More with me. I'm your host, Matt Morrison. Get in, get comfortable. It is a crummy of a day, raining all day. It's supposed to. But so I got a 15-minute window here. In about 15 minutes or so, I should have girls head coach for Liberty, Deidre Watson, come on, which will be an absolute honor to have her on. And then following, we're looking to get the Lowville girls coach on here as well, Lisa Moldeski. That should be good as well. Hopefully, we can catch up them a little later. But for now, uh, I'm gonna kill some time. I'm gonna recap the game I did last night. The Badger Braves took on the Fairport Harbor Skippers in round one of the Division 4 men's tournament. Badger snuck away with it 72-59. So what exactly we're going into this game, it was kind of a little nerve-wracking because Fairport did beat Badger on a buzzer beater in Fairport the last time they played them. So but Badger seemed to just put that in their rear view mirror and just played the game. And a couple mistakes here and there, but I mean, it's gonna happen. They'll definitely work on things as well. And, the main man leading them last night was Duncan Moy with 33 points. And Lewis Flowers also had a great night with 15 points. Brad Hamilton had 6 points. And then Cole Burnett also had 9 points. And Cole Burnett, really great defense. The Braves played really great defense all night long. Lewis Flowers was on his assignments. I got some clips here as well of Lewis and Badgers defense as well. And I'll click on these clips here in just a second. But great defensive game by Brad. Brad Hamilton broke a lot of records last night. I believe it was, I actually got it right here. It was he broke the in-season record for steals, the career steals, and I believe it was in steals in a game as well. And he also broke the assists record as well. So broke some records last night. And Duncan Moy also broke the single season scoring record that was previously held by Dale Blaney, who's a Badger legend. So now Duncan Moy is at that top of that mantle as well. So that hats off to him. But I'm gonna go on here. These clips, I mean, they I'll talk about them a little bit, but clip number one is a great clip. It's at the beginning of the game. Badger just getting comfortable into that defensive, thing that they did the whole night. But here's the first clip.
He's trying to maneuver his way inside. Lewis Flowers is on him. He's stuck, and it got him on a travel. Lewis Flowers was right there the whole time. Good defensive stand for the Braves.
So that play there, I mean, it was pretty quick, but I'll play it again here in just a second. But Lewis Flowers, all the way through was right there with him the whole time. As I'll play it again here.
He's trying to maneuver his way inside. Lewis Flowers is on him. He's stuck,
right here,
and it got him on a travel. Lewis Flowers was right there the whole time. Good defensive stand for the Braves.
Area as well. And, it just forced a travel for Fairport. And, it happened again here.
The loose ball, he's trying to move in transition. Now Castellano with it. Jumper shot, no good. Tipped up and rebounded by Hammer. And Hammer travels. Second traveling call.
So that right there, that was in transition. Fairport got a good second chance to get another shot off. That was something that happened a lot throughout the game. They got a lot of second chances, and they kind of, in that moment right there, it kind of went away from them a little bit. I think they got too excited, and you have Duncan in the area there as well, and you just move. So Badger on that defensive side just applied pressure, and it really paid off. throughout the night. They had 7 3-pointers in the first half. Duncan Moy, I believe, had 3 of them. And Duncan Moy is not usually a 3-point shooter, and he came out and made some clutch shots. Brad Hamilton had a couple of them too, and as well as Bryce Gross. And there was one play that I was gonna have it up here, but it was having some issues uploading. So, but I'll just break it down. Duncan Moyen came up and shot a huge 3 from the top of the key. It bounced off the back of the rim, and luckily it got tipped back out by Cole Burnett out to Hamilton. Hamilton drove in and then kicked it back out at the last second to Bryce Gross, who just nailed a wonderful 3 in the corner. And Bryce Gross came off the bench, definitely a great 6-man for the Braves. And, they kept pushing and pushing, and they just kind of exhausted the Skippers at the end, I believe. And, then plays like this happened at the end.
Bryce Gross floats it into Moy. Moy slams it down. They'll leave Moy open, or exactly that will happen.
And I think a play like that, it's really rewarding at the end of a hard-fought game like that. Badger was pushing all night long just to kind of exhaust the Skippers, and that was kind of shown right there. It was near the end of the game. Moy just broke away, and he got the pass right to him, and that the rest is history. If he's all alone, he's gonna dunk it. Period. But hopefully they can pressure that more going into Springfield this Friday. I'll be on that call as well. That's going to be a one heck of a game. A little bit more of a these opponents are going to get tougher and tougher as they go on. But Springfield, listed as that 16 seed. Badger's still the 6th seed. So if they get past Springfield, which will be a little bit more of a test, they'll either have to take on Matthews or Bristol. And, they beat Bristol 2 times this season. And, it's very hard to beat a team 3 times. And I'm about to call the Badger girls tonight playing Matthews for the 3rd time. So that should be a good treat as well. But Badger is a good contender here tonight. So for the girls and for the boys last night, they just gotta fix up little mistakes, and they should be fine. And I'll be on the call tonight. I'll be on the call for Lowville as well. Lowville had a very good run. Lowville will be taking on the number 3 seed Western Reserve, which will be a test. We'll be talking to hopefully Lisa Modeski in a little bit here. But Lowville has had a great run. They beat Fairport, then they went in and beat Chalker as well. And then, here they are. They're sitting here as a 12 seed. Anything can happen in these playoffs. And, I like it. I like seeing it. Badger kind of cruised into this, district semifinal led by Katie Grexa. And, of course, Lavelle Turnage has had a great coaching year. Got his 50th career win this year as well. And Grexa, of course, 1,000 points on the year as well. So hopefully the ride can continue here tonight for the Badger girls. And, it'll be nice to see Lowville as well. Western Reserve, hats off to their season as well. It should be a great matchup. Badgers at 6, Lowville and Western Reserve are at 8 o'clock. So I'll be on both of those calls. It should be a very, very good couple games. But, going back to this boys tournament, Badger, one game at a time. I talked to, both interviews last night to Brad Hamilton and to Coach Josh Upshar. Those are on YSN right now. So if you want to go on and watch those interviews, feel free to go do that. My story is up there as well. But, just one game at a time. Just take it one step at a time as well. Definitely work on some things. I saw the rebound. The rebounding has gotten better. That's gonna affect every team now. Teams are gonna get second chances, and Badger did chime it down a little bit last night. And the main guy that usually was the main factor for Fairport, which he still was. James Gadomski still had 20 points, but Gadomski was the one to hit these wild shots in the previous game. Hit a buzzer beater to win the game, and even one at halftime he hit a buzzer. So they didn't even let him get a shot off last night. They didn't let him take a crazy 3-pointer, which I think they did a great job at. They forced him inside, which he got some points there. Hitting some good corner shots or good elbow shots, but I mean, they limited him. So I thought they did a great job at that. And Cole Burnett, he was the rebound master. I mean, unbelievable. And you know how down to earth Cole is. He was going to war last night, getting every rebound that fell to him. And he was great at the free throw line too. 3 for 4 last night from the free throw line. I always talk about his technique. He goes right up to the line, gets his feet set, and just shoots. No dribbles, nothing like that. Just goes right into it. He just gets right down to business per se. So other deciding factors in this game, obviously Duncan's going to come out and perform every night. That's something you can definitely most likely rely on. Duncan's going to have a good game. But, what I also saw last night, these other guys stepped up too. Lewis Flowers came out and played great. And this is a freshman starting. And this is his first tournament game at the high school varsity level. So what a great game he played. Great defensive game. As the clips I just showed, he had some good steals. He did have a couple fouls. I believe he had 4 fouls on the night. But, I mean, when you're, in these playoffs, you're going to have to get your hands dirty. And, Lewis Flowers went to war. And I'm excited to see what he can do in the future rounds. And I'm excited for Preston Drossatano, too. He had a little bit of a quiet night. I believe he had a 1 3-pointer in early. But, I mean, there were some missed layups here and there by Preston, even by Lewis, too. So they got to work on that, too, when they're all alone. Gotta make the layups. But other than that, they worked out pretty good last night, and I can't wait to call them this Friday against Springfield. But moving on here, other scores around last night. I know Anthony Hartwig does a pretty good game recap of the games, but I really want to talk about some of the upsets that happened last night. One of them was Jackson Milton and Heartland Christian. Jackson Milton came in, and I believe Aiden Stanky hit the buzzer beater 3 to win. And Jackson Milton, I called them twice on the year. They lost in both games. They lost to Badger. I went to Jackson Milton to call them, and they still came out at Badger as well, and they forced a good game against them. And then they also lost to Ridge in an upset game. Ridge, that was only their second win of the season. So, but it's a different stage here. Upsets will happen. Jackson Milton just came in ready to play. Heartland Christian, I mean, you have the Walker guys there, Jake Walker, Seth Walker, Drew Walker as well. And then you have, Galt as well. And then even Will Morgan, great shooters. Just something must have happened. I called 2 games of them as well. The game that they beat Badger, which Drew Galt hit the corner 3 to put them up late in the game. So they must have just, lost their touch with the 3-pointers. That's their game. They like to shoot those threes, and they've done well at it on this season. So hats off to a great season for them. Sorry that it had to end this way, but I also called their game against Valley Christian just a week ago, and they did lose that game. But I mean, they stuck with it. They were down late, they were down big, and they cut it in. This is a team that never quit, and I'm sure they never quit in this game as well. And then another upset that happened, I mean, Maplewood came in and upset Lisbon last night, and I know our YSN's own Quinn Puskar was probably scratching his head. He actually just texted me. I think he's coming to the Badger game tonight. But Quinn, I know you guys had a tough season, and hats off to that tough season for you. But Lisbon, their season is over, and Maplewood is moving on. And I've caught a couple good Maplewood games as well. They have some streaky players. that can just go off and just score. One of them is definitely Bryson Himes, who can break away, and the other one is Andrew Barnett. So those guys have been keys, and they'll be keys further on in the term. But hey, moving on now, we have Deidre Watson popped in here. So let's add her to the stream. Hello, Coach Watson. Can you hear me? Coach Watson.
I can. My connection's a little shaky. Can you hear me well?
Are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. How are you today?
Okay.
I feel
Pretty
like
good.
it.
How about you?
I'm great. I'm vibing here. I feel like it cleared up a little bit there, so we should be good to go. But let's talk about the season you've had here. I mean, last year I called a couple of your games. I called your Waterloo game, and of course I called a couple of your Brookfield games as well. The one that you lost, and then the district final that you guys won, and then the next round, of course, you guys did play Wayndale. But great season you had last year. Now moving into this year, you know, you guys were a little bit down. You didn't have Sienna Smith throughout the whole year, but you stuck with it and you won some tough games. I was looking at your schedule. You still came out and won some tough games and had a great season. And you're in the tournament and you won a couple great games. And now you have Sienna Smith back, and look where you are. How do you feel right now? Can you hear me?
I feel great. It's tough when you lose a player like that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you.
You know what? I'm gonna connect to my phone. Give me a minute.
Okay, go ahead. We'll take a quick step aside.
I'm gonna connect to my.
It's okay. We're waiting. There we go. I think we're good now. All right, now we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Year. But Sienna Smith was out pretty much the whole year, but you guys stuck with it. You guys, still have Demi Watson, and you guys, won some tough games, and the record. I really truly believe that you guys are a heck of a lot better than your record, and that has been showing definitely in this tournament. So you go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, our record, the games that we lost, aside for maybe some tough games, were really maybe all under 5 or 6 points for a lot of 50-50 balls. And a lot of it had to do with just, trying to learn new plays, trying to learn each other. It's tough when you take on a new role, but I think our girls did so well, just getting better and better every night. Then with the return of Sienna, that just makes us so much more better. With Sienna, it opens the game up for so many other players because there's another threat on the outside, a great passer. So I think that it kind of hurt us in the beginning, but tournament time, the experience, the different looks that the girls have is going to just help us so much more in tournament time.
Yes, most definitely. And I've been being filled in here by our own Alec Caberna, who's been calling you guys every game, and he's dedicated to you guys. He loves calling you guys. He's like, Matt, he tells me a lot. So he fills me in here and there. But, of course, I know this is your last season, and, you've had a great run here as Liberty coach, and even no matter what happens during this season, a lot of people will remember the name Deidre Watson for years to come. I definitely will. I know Alec will. What has it meant to you, though, to coach this team in particular, to all the previous teams as well?
I mean, coming into coach high school basketball was definitely a challenge for me. I kind of took it kind of not willingly, but willingly. I just wasn't something that I was kind of looking for. It taught me a lot about myself, and it taught me to react to maybe things differently. I've formed a lot of great relationships with past players. It's just a joy to watch them to become the adults that they're becoming. But I love the game of basketball, and so coaching just always gave me a new perspective, and I'll cherish relationships. I've met some great people that I probably wouldn't have, crossed paths with. So it's just been a great experience for me to coach high school basketball, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
We're back here. Lost connection there for a second. If Deidre will pop back on here in a minute, maybe I'll send her a text. But they've We're back here. Well, I think we're back. The Wi-Fi just in and out here, everybody. I totally apologize. But as before, hopefully we can get. Here we go. Here we go. I got Deidre back. All right. So sorry about that. My connection is bad here too. Some days it's 100% here in Mineral Ridge, and then other days it's this horrible. So sorry about that. But where were we? We were talking about Sienna
It's the
Smith.
rain. Yeah, I was
It's
just talking
definitely the
about,
rain. What did you say? I'm sorry.
yeah, I was just talking about the joys of coaching.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, I was looking at your schedule here. I mean, you always got some tough battles with Brookfield. I know that you win one, you lose one. That usually happens. Quite back and forth. I believe that's always a tough matchup, but Brookfield is out of the tournament, so you won't see a rematch with them of last year. But you guys are on the upset side as well. I mean, coming in and defeating a very good team like Poland. What were you and your squad thinking before that game? What were you and your squad thinking before the game? You hear me?
Yeah, my phone's a little bit better. I don't know. My computer's over here acting crazy. Can you hear me no better now?
Yeah, I hear you better now. Hopefully we can stay.
Right.
Oh, man. But,
Okay.
yeah, Poland, very tough team to come in and take down. I mean, I believe they only lost like 5 games on the season, but you guys came in, you ended their run. You continue a little bit of your Cinderella run per se. I mean, when you guys are full throttle, you guys are indeed not an underdog by any means, but just the kind of the situation of the season is looking like a little bit of a Cinderella run on other teams, on other terms. But what was that like going into Poland? And what'd you guys plan for your matchup and stuff like that, like keys of the game?
Well, we knew Poland would be a tough game for us, but we match up well with them. If you look by player, just putting Sienna back in the game just puts us over the edge. That I knew that they would come out and they would trap. They would try to double team us and, just try to drive the ball. The good thing about Sienna not being there is that we've been able to develop Mia as another ball handler. So she's a lot more comfortable under pressure now. So then that gives us another ball handler. So we were able to handle those traps very well. We knew that we had to make sure Katie McDonald, she's an awesome player. She's, over 6 feet.
Yeah.
So we had to challenge Michaela to make sure that, she tried to keep her off the offensive glass as much as she could. And then we just, Mary Brandt, we knew that she loved to drive in the middle. She has crazy hopping ability, finishing ability. So we should try to limit her points. On the defensive side, we just make sure that we talked well, we rotated well. And so those were keys to the game, which the girls really did a good job of executing what they needed to do.
Yes, and I knew Poland was going to come in and trap, and you guys got some height on your team as well, and like they have the one girl that's above 6 foot, but the other players, when they're a lot shorter than taller, a lot shorter than some of your players that come in and trap, it's kind of hard, because they're a little bit taller and they have the reach and they can get it over, and you added Mia Parker in as another great ball handler, and you guys kind of got that big four now with Demi Watson, Mia Parker, and Sienna Smith in, as well as Aaliyah Foster as well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you guys, in a way, Sienna Smith being out has, kind of that next man up type of thing has made a couple of players even better. Would you say so?
I mean, absolutely. Mia and even Kylie, they have stepped up and, with the ball handling abilities. I challenged them this season. I probably rode them a lot harder than they could, but always
you're supposed to.
Yeah, but I always tell them after practice, great job just handling the criticism and getting better. That's always what I'm looking for is just to take on the challenge and to get better game by game. Mia especially has taken on that point guard role, and so she'll be even better come next year. When there's not a Sienna, Demi, or Aaliyah, she'll be able to take on that role and own it.
Yes, most definitely. I don't doubt that one bit. But the team you're going up here in the district semifinal, another team that has made a little bit of a run in Lakeview. And, of course, Lakeview beat Mooney, who upset Brookfield in that fantastic overtime thriller in Brookfield, Ohio. But, Lakeview coming in here at 15 seed, lower than you guys. You guys are a 12. So you got a little bit of a battle of the lower seeds here, per se. A couple teams that just got hot in that tournament, like Lakeview. And, Lakeview got, kind of got a little bit of luck there that they didn't have to take on Brookfield. I'm sure a little bit of the weight was lifted off. Like, hey, all right, Mooney just had a good game, and I'm sure they felt a little comfortable in playing Mooney. And nothing against Mooney; they had a great year. I called some of their games this year as well, but that was more of a better matchup there, I believe, with Mooney and with Lakeview. But going into this game, a couple more questions for you. What are you going into this game? You kind of don't want to take it lightly. Like, you just beat Poland, very top team. Now you got a little bit of a lower team in Lakeview. So what are you going in here and, keeping your girls ready?
Funny, I watched YSU coach, the boys coach, who talked about a trap game. And this is exactly what I feel like this is for us. And we can't come in taking them lightly. Just like I said with Poland, rankings don't matter. Lakeview's a very gritty team, and I know that they play very hard. They give 100% effort, and so we have to go in with that same mentality. Basketball is a game of runs, and they could have a good run, and the game could go their way if we take them lightly. We did scrimmage Lakeview. It was a try scrimmage with Lakeview, Mooney, and ourselves. So I've seen them in action, and I know how hard they play. They don't give up. They don't stop. So we're not going in taking this game lightly. We may be the favorite, but we're going to play like we're the underdog.
Yes, absolutely. And then one more question for you, then we'll get you on your way here. The next opponent Garfield plays Kirtland, and that could go either way. Kirtland has had a great run in that underdog side as well, so you never know what can happen there. But if you guys have to match up against Garfield again, a team that has beaten you twice on the season, what do you got to do just to keep your girls? Like, I know you added Sienna back, which is awesome for you guys, but what do you guys got to do going into that game? It's going to be one heck of a matchup. I know that. You got to keep your girls' heads up. Like, hey, they beat us in the regular season, but that doesn't matter now. Just kind of push it back behind in the rear view, right?
Exactly. We're going to have to go and play 4 quarters of basketball.
Yeah.
The thing about Garfield, when they beat us, I think the quarters were probably within 2 or 4 points. And there was one quarter where we had a bad quarter and maybe scored 2 or 4 points. So we can't allow that to happen. We have to play 4 quarters of basketball. We just have to give the best effort we can. Likewise, if it's Kirtland, we are familiar with them. I think we played them maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Also a great team, giving great effort. So whatever comes our way, we're going to be prepared to battle. We do want to get another district championship. And so
yes.
That's what our goal is. We're going to have to work hard. Nothing's given. It's going to have to be earned.
Yes, most definitely. And I'm sure you'd love to go out, leave as your final season with another district championship back to back, per se. I'm sure that would be a great walk off into the sunset for you. But hey, Coach, thanks for coming on here with me. I know we had some connection problems, but thank you so much for coming on. And if the ride continues, we're going to have to get you on here again to talk with me. But Coach, good luck to you tonight against Lakeview. I'll be tuning in. I'll be keeping an eye on it because I'll be calling 2 games tonight. But good luck to you, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
So now, moving on here, next guest, I'm going to have Lowville head coach Lisa Mildeski on. Let's add her now. Hello, Coach. How are you?
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I had a couple connection problems here as I had Deidre Watson on, so hopefully those stay uh, away
Uh,
with you. But
I've
I'll
had them
be
in the
on.
past.
Yes,
So,
yeah. But I'll be on your call tonight as you guys play Western Reserve, and Western Reserve. I'll be calling Badger as well in the game before. I know you guys will be watching that game for sure. But to focus on your game, what a run you guys have had. I mean, you come in, you beat Fairport first round, and then you beat a kind of a scrappy Chalker team as well, just to keep things going. What what's going on there in Louisville? What's the vibe right now? Like,
I
what's
mean,
going on?
I'll be honest, the girls are just having fun. We're trying to keep things relaxed, keep things pretty basic, just preparing for one game at a time. But they're enjoying themselves. We have a couple seniors, 4 seniors on our roster. They just don't want it to be, done. Normally in years past, we've been a little hesitant. We've been scared prior to games. These girls are showing no fear right now. They're excited about the next challenge. So I think that's been the difference at this point.
Yes, fun is. I've definitely talked about fun on this show before with previous coaches that I've brought on here, and fun has really extended a lot of team seasons. Definitely Liberties, and definitely your guys's as well, and a couple other teams as well, including Kirtland on the other side in Division 3. And even Matthews coming in here tonight, and Matthews is going to have a big matchup with Badger, their third meetup of the year, so that's going to be an interesting game as well. But Lowville, Western Reserve, yeah, you guys met up earlier in the season, took a tough game, 54-25. But hey, it's in the past. It was a long time ago, and this is a completely different stage. Anything can happen, anything at all. Upsets. We saw that with Brookfield and Cardinal Mooney. And, with you guys as well. You guys, pull up 2 games and look where you are, 2 away from a district championship. But going into this game tonight against Western Reserve, you guys have definitely zeroed in on them. Well, what's the game plan here tonight? Like, keys just to keep them at bay.
Because we're so familiar with them, we definitely know personnel. We know any one of those players that at any given moment can score, and that's sort of what happened in both games that we saw them this year. Looking at the books, the scoring books, they had just different people hurt us in each game. So we know we got to shut down any girl that steps on that court. The biggest one obviously is Brooke Shantz. She's their leader. She's their main ball handler. She creates a lot for herself and for others. So if we can minimize what she does with the ball, keep the ball out of her hand as much as possible, I think we would have a chance. But the girls just got to go and relax. Like you said, we're the underdogs. We're used to being in that spot. They're actually have taken to it. I think we play better when there's no expectations. They're excited. They're excited for the challenge. They're excited to get to another district semifinal game, and it would be great to just get one more under our belt and see if we can get to a district championship and see what happens from there.
Yes, most definitely. And the team you just took down in Chalker was a 15-8 team, and Western Reserve is right there too. I believe, yeah, they're 15-8 too. So you're capable of taking down teams that have won some games this year. And you guys, even though your record, you're a little bit under 500, right, 10-13, right?
11 and 13.
11-13.
Yep.
But that doesn't matter at all. I've called teams last year. For instance, the Badger boys team I called last year, they were around that 500 mark too. They were a 9 seed. They made it to the semifinals. Unfortunately, the ride ended there. But, you pull off a couple games in this tournament. It doesn't matter what your record is. You go in, it's a different stage. You pull off a couple wins, and you guys are definitely revamped. Any team is. Do you guys feel that way as well?
Yeah,
Just like
I
you.
really do. I really think the changing point in our season came when we played Crestview at home.
Yeah.
That game was pushed back a little bit, so due to some illness we had on our team early on. But at that stage of the game, I think our girls, knowing how good of a team Crestview is, that we battled. I mean, we were in that game all the way until the last couple of minutes, and even then, I think we only lost by 6 or 8. So when you go up against a team like that, I think these girls started to really believe that they could play with and beat teams regardless of size. I mean, we are undermatched and undersized on any given night. Our tallest girl's 5'7", so when we have to battle against Springfields and Crestviews and anybody that has anybody over 5'9", it's a
Yeah.
difficult thing for us. But that game was sort of our turning point when these kids were like, wow, we could play with the best, and then we saw East a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
that's a solid basketball team. And once again, we battled, and
I think you
so
guys only lost by 6
yeah.
in that game. So to stay with a team that has had a great year like East,
Mhm.
you can stay with anybody. I mean,
It,
it doesn't matter. You don't really look at wins and losses when you play those good teams.
Mhm.
You just see if you can keep pace with them. And you guys have. You guys
yeah.
really have.
And I'll be honest,
And
I think that most of the girls on our team probably don't even know our record. So
yeah,
they don't even
it
look at
doesn't
that in the
matter.
sense, yeah, and it really doesn't matter. So it's not like I'm really stressing you guys, this is our seed and this is the seed we're going against.
Yeah.
We're familiar with Western Reserve. We're comfortable. We've had a couple really good days of practices, really just looking at what we need to do to put the ball in
Mhm.
the basket and get better. Each time we played
Mhm.
them, we struggled to do that. The first time was a little closer. The second time we didn't have our starting point guard, so that did hinder us a little bit. I think we've changed some things up. We've changed some personnel and where they go and what they do. And, I'm just excited to see what we can do tonight. I really
So
am.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited too. I'll be there. I love calling playoff games, especially district semifinals. Some of the best games to watch, and
Yeah.
especially broadcast. So it's going to be an honor tonight to do that. But you were talking about re changing some rules and stuff like that. If you want to talk about that a little bit, like anybody stepping up, anybody like taking on a new role that has helped out. If you want to talk about that.
Sure, sure. We've changed some positions as sort of where we've put some girls in our offensive sets and even on the defensive side just to create some things. I believe in the Sebring game, we noticed some things with one of our point guards, or one of our shooting guards, Serena Tish, one of our juniors.
Yes.
We had her sailing a little bit in the post, and we were like, boy, she really has some nice moves down there. So I
Yeah.
think it takes the pressure off her a little bit of the ball handling part of it, and it opens some things up for us that she's able to seal and create some things down in the post. She's not a big girl, but she's very strong and she's very athletic. So I think that has been to our advantage over these past couple weeks. Lily Varicapola is, out a little bit more outside handling the ball with Savannah Prostick. I think that has changed some stuff for us in regards to, what teams can do against us with pressure. Lily's pretty calm out there. She helps Savannah control the ball. So those are just two of the main ones in my mind that I really think that we've changed some things of what we are asking them to do. And, they're stepping up to it. They're taking on those new roles, with strong, broad shoulders, and they're doing really well.
We got a good luck here for you from Gina Lucenti.
It's my
Uh,
sister.
that's your sister? That's awesome. What made me kind of bring you on is the last show we were talking about girls basketball, and I had a Louisville, somebody from Louisville comment on the show, and I'm like,
Oh,
all right. So that kind of made me like, oh, who they play? I'm like, oh, I'm calling them, and so that made it
yeah.
even better to bring you on. But one thing that I have definitely noticed in calling games, size does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're 5'9" or 6'5". It really doesn't. I've seen girls, that are not really in the height. They don't really have the height advantage, and they completely bought out. Girls like Lily Scott with Ursuline, and definitely girls like Gabriella Miller with Badger. They will get in your face. They will. I think that even the undersize of some players really just makes them play harder. Like
Yes.
I've seen Gabriella Miller come up and take on girls that are 5'10", 6 foot, and just
Yes.
take the ball away. And even Lily Scott for Ursuline. So, you got some battle in those shorter players per se. They got more. I don't want to say. I mean, advantage maybe because the tall players, they come up and they think they got it won all the time. Believe me,
Mhm.
I'm 6'5". I thought I had it all. But I've played against guys even in pickup games that they work harder
Yeah.
when they don't have the height advantage. The taller people seem to be like, hey, we got it. We're tall. We got the height. We don't have to play as hard.
Mhm.
They kind of go in thinking they got it already. But
Sure.
the
Sure.
shorter players are like, no, I don't care what your height is. I
Yeah.
don't care.
And I've
I'm gonna
definitely
work
seen that.
harder.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen that more with the girls as of late. We're really stressing those 50-50 balls and controlling, the ball and limiting turnovers and things like that. So, you know, limiting second shot opportunities for teams is sometimes difficult because of the size advantage. But our girls are getting on the floor. They're getting after loose balls. They're understanding the importance of, that possession. So I'm definitely seeing more fight in them. They're getting aggressive, they're bumping people, where before we were a little bit hesitant to do those things.
Mhm.
And I think that's what turned us up a notch a little bit on the defensive end, since holding Southington, I think, to 25 points was a big feat
Yeah.
for us. They are a high powered team. They have a lot of outside scorers. They have some really good freshmen, a couple good shooting seniors, and we were able to limit those. I think tiring them down in the second half really was at our advantage, because we came out a little flat, weren't hitting some shots. And I think our aggressiveness on the defensive side is what really, changed that game from a close win or maybe a loss to, a pretty sound victory. So, I think the girls are just getting gritty and understanding that our speed, because I think our team speed is one of our, definite benefits. Is It doesn't matter if you have height. If we can use our speed and get to the ball quick and get on the floor and push tempo and stuff, that we'll have some success.
Yes, most definitely. And a little bit ago, you were talking about your girls just having fun and playing the game. Uh, is there anything that you've kind of incorporated in practice or anything like that? I always like to ask coaches this. Like, what is there any fun drill you've guys
You
done?
know
I've
what?
talked.
It practices, the past couple of days when you're preparing, and you only have like 2 days to prepare for
Yeah.
another team. You try to maintain focus as much as possible. What we've been doing, we've been, having some team meals, and we've been playing some games that I think the other teams think we're crazy. So when we got to Fairport Harding, that was an hour and 40-minute drive for us on the
Yeah,
bus.
it's a hike.
It's a
It's a hike.
hike. So I one of the coaches, or the coach at Waterloo. He's a great coach. He's a mentor I look up to. Kevin Longenecker. He's wonderful. He gave me an idea of something he did with his girls when they took a long trip to a big game, and we incorporated that, and the girls loved it. The Fairport Harding girls looked at us like we were crazy. We did a scavenger hunt with gift cards, and anytime my girls could win any kind of free thing, they enjoy it. So I think that lightened us up a little bit. It lightened the mood. It kept everything pretty chill, and the girls had fun with it. And then when we got to Southington last Saturday, we played duck duck goose in the middle of the court.
There you go.
It just keeps everything light. The kids don't need to sit there and analyze, before the game, and be afraid, and when we have time. And so it just kept their minds off of things, and it just I think it was a benefit for us to do those things.
So, yes, most definitely. This kind of release pressure a little bit. Like, hey, this is just another game.
It is just another game.
Whatever happens, happens. It's a game. It's just a game, basically. And you go in thinking, some teams go in thinking like, oh, we have to win this game, or this is it, it's over. Other teams come in at much like you guys,
Yeah.
and you're just like, hey, we're here. Whatever happens, happens. We're gonna go with the flow, and I like to see teams like that. I think teams like that, teams with not let's see, not a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I've
We don't
seen
have
some
huge
teams.
targets on our back. I mean,
Yeah,
we just don't. I
yeah.
mean, this team's beat us twice, and
Just
they
like,
know.
hey,
Yeah, it's whatever they've done has worked, and it's our
yeah.
job to defeat that. So we're just sort of relaxed, and my girls are excited. They wanted to see Western Reserve again. We haven't beaten them in my 7 years I've been here, so it would be great to get a win on this stage for them, and I think they are really excited to play it.
So, I mean, that is even more. You haven't beaten them in how many years you've coached?
I've been here 7, so yeah,
So
I've never beaten them once in 7
it's
years. So um
it's things like that have happened. I know Badger boys coach Josh Upshire. He's been here with Badger 7, 8 years, and I think they've only beat Bristol one time, and then this year they got them again. So like, hey, I mean, eventually it's
we're hoping it's our time.
take that
We're
turn.
hoping it's our time. We
So,
know we need to play a near perfect game. I mean, they're a solid team. They've been in these positions many of times. They've gotten to regionals. They've been in district championship games, and so we know what we're up against. But they're our girls aren't backing down, and we're just gonna go and give everything we possibly have.
yes. Well, good luck to you tonight. I'm definitely gonna add the duck duck goose to the broadcast tonight. I've had coaches. I've had some answers before, like the East boys coach would play Bob Marley during practice and stuff like that. But I've never heard duck duck goose and
Oh,
scavenger hunt.
Francesca
So,
Lelio gets on the loudspeaker and she'll play Barney song and
oh geez.
oh yeah, we got some pretty relaxed girls, which
Oh
sometimes is a good thing and sometimes not a good thing. And I'm hoping tonight it's a
yeah.
good thing if we can go in and relax and just play.
So yeah, it does. I mean, that's all about it right there, being relaxed. Some of the greatest players in history who are relaxed have accomplished great things. One example I can give to you right now, it just popped into my head. I forget what Super Bowl it was, but it was Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers, and they took on the Cincinnati Bengals. And Cincinnati did score and to go up in the Super Bowl, and then there's one final drive where Montana was so calm and chill that he looked up into the stands and he was like, "Hey, isn't that John Candy sitting up into the stands?" And that showed all of his guys like, man, like he's so calm and control right now, and he ended up leading them down, and they won that Super Bowl. So it doesn't matter. That's a different. I know it's Super Bowl, but like, you know, if you have girls that are relaxed, like things like that can happen,
Yeah.
so that's something to definitely be. But hey, coach, thanks for coming on here with me. We're gonna wrap things up here. Good luck to you tonight. I'll be there. I'll talk to you later.
Right.
But good luck to you tonight, and thanks for coming on here and talking to me.
I appreciate it. Thanks again for having me.
Yep, no problem.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye. But hey, everybody, we're gonna wrap things up here. Today is a rainy day. It's a great day to sit at home and watch basketball on YSN. We're going to have that tonight. Some great games tonight. I will be on two of them, of course, Badger and Matthews, and then, yes, Lowville and Western Reserve tonight as well. But hey, thanks for tuning in here with me, everybody. Be tuned to stay on here and watch Running Point coming up here next with Anthony Hartwig, and maybe Power Hour later. If it's on, please watch it. Those guys do a great job as well. But thanks for tuning in here. We'll be back here Friday. I'll try and get a couple more guests on here with me, but we'll see you Friday here on another episode of Talk More with Matt Morrison. But thanks, everybody, and have a good day.